Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's information session about the AMS-Fitzgerald Fellowship in AI and Human-Centered Leadership. Thank you so much for your interest and for making the time today. My name is Jennifer Gibson. I'm director of the AMS-Fitzgerald Fellowship, an associate professor in the Dalla Lana School of Public Health, and director of the Joint Center for Bioethics at the University of Toronto. I'm joined today by Dr. Jay Shaw, who is Research Director of AI Ethics and Health at the Joint Center for Bioethics, and Dr. Stephen Rebellato, who is Vice President of the Environmental Health Department of the Simcoe Muskoka District Health Unit and a current AMS Fitzgerald Fellowship. Before we get started, I'd like to highlight a few housekeeping items. Today's information session will be recorded and posted on the AMS Fitzgerald Fellowship program page for those who are unable to attend, and anyone on today's call who may wish to refer back to it. We will be using the chat function for the Q&A portion of today's info session. Jay will be moderating the Q&A by reading out your questions, but will not identify you by name. Only the audio and video recording will be posted. So during the Q&A portion, if you do not want to be seen on the screen and be part of the video, we ask that you keep your video on mute. So what I'm proposing that we do today is the following. To give you an overview of the fellowship by answering the following questions. What is the fellowship? Who is it for? What will fellows gain? How will it work and how to apply? And then we'll open it up to you for your questions. So, what is the AMS Fitzgerald Fellowship? Artificial intelligence promises to transform health systems at all levels. Micro at the level of direct patient care, meso at the level of health institutions and care coordination, and macro at the level of broader public policy, with profound implications for reframing clinician, patient, and provider relationships, fostering more effective systems and efficient delivery of healthcare services, promoting health, and enabling healthy public policies. The success or failure of artificial intelligence will depend heavily on organizational leadership and culture. In the emerging AI landscape in health, leaders are needed who are bold and critically reflective, and who can strike a balance between seizing upon the transformational opportunities of AI applications in health and sustaining the human-centeredness of healthcare, public health, and health systems. The AMS Fitzgerald Fellowship in AI and Human-Centered Leadership is a 2-year professional fellowship for early and mid-career health system leaders who are driven to develop knowledge, skills, and capacity to meet the opportunities and challenges of AI in healthcare, public health, and health systems. The fellowship was created in partnership by the Dalla Lana School of Public Health and AMS Healthcare, which is a Canadian charitable organization. The fellowship itself, though, is housed and hosted by the Joint Center for Bioethics and is powered by OISE Continuing and Professional Learning. The AMS Fitzgerald Fellowship reimagines a human-centered approach to health leadership that is driven by putting people first and by a commitment to promoting, fostering, and advancing compassion and equity in an age of AI. It is designed to foster knowledge, skills, and competencies of health system leaders seeking to implement AI and related digital innovations for more compassionate and equitable healthcare and health systems today and in the future. The AMS Fitzgerald Fellowship provides learners with dedicated process facilitation and tangible expert support as they work to design, develop, and implement a human-centered AI or digital transformation project for their unique health sector organization. In addition to supporting individual learner goals, the fellowship seeks to build a cadre of human-centered health leaders who will be a community of practice, advancing human-centered practice in an evolving AI environment, particularly in Ontario. So, second, how does the fellowship work? The AMS-Fitzgerald Fellowship experience represents a flexible and supportive inquiry-oriented learning environment. Fellows will be challenged to design, develop, and implement an action learning project that will establish a foundation for human-centered application of AI and/or digital technology in their organizational context. In this program, you will be introduced to diverse insights on human-centered leadership and AI and health. We will guide you to think critically as you explore and develop your unique and creative approach to advance your organization's AI innovation, goals, and objectives. You will deepen your understanding as you progress through the fellowship through individual professional inquiry and reflection and active collaboration with fellowship colleagues, experts and residents, and an expert process facilitator. The AMS-Fitzgerald Fellowship is designed to be completed over 2 years. In year 1, the curriculum is built around 3 highly integrated modules focused on human-centered leadership, human-centered applications of AI, and human-centered design, which will support each fellow in the design and development of their individual human-centered AI or digital transformation project. In year 2, fellows will participate in a community of practice of ongoing expert and peer mentorship and professional learning as they implement their individual leadership projects in practice within their organization. Through a combination of in-person and online sessions, interactions with experts and residents, expert and peer mentorship, and individual and group learning activities, fellows will learn about human factors, ethics and governance, technical aspects of AI selection and deployment, and practical aspects of integrating AI into health settings. The in-person component involves a 3-day intensive session on campus at the University of Toronto in each of modules 1, 2, and 3. The online component will be conducted synchronously and asynchronously and involves self-guided learning, open discussions forums, facilitated monthly sessions, and peer and expert mentorship. The community of practice in year 2 will be conducted exclusively online, although at this time we're also looking for opportunities to reconvene the first and second cohorts together in person to again continue to build a strong network of human-centered leaders. The fellowship incorporates a 4D process facilitation model from discovery to definition to development and delivery of each learner's AI innovation project. Fellows will move through the fellowship together as a cohort, which affords opportunities for peer-to-peer learning and mentorship and contributes to building a rich and sustaining community of practice, which we hope will continue in the years to come. Now, how to apply? First of all, I'll draw your attention to the application deadline, which is 1 month from today on May 10th, 2024. You will submit your application materials to the email address you see on the screen. This year, we are seeking an exceptional second cohort of 12 fellows who will bring a diversity of experience, expertise, and insight to enrich the learning experience of all fellows. The program itself was launched last year with its inaugural cohort. So one of the advantages for the second cohort is that they will have the benefit of having a cohort that preceded them, with whom they can start to build a community of practice right from the very beginning. Thanks to the generosity of AMS Healthcare, 12 funded AMS-Fitzgerald fellowships are available, which includes tuition and instructional materials. Fellows are only responsible for any travel-related costs they may incur for the in-person aspects of the program. Your application will comprise the following elements: a statement of interest, a professional CV, and a letter of institutional support from a senior administrator in your organization. So let me touch on each of those. The statement of interest, maximum of about 3 pages, should respond to the following elements. We'd like to hear more about your leadership experience and your current leadership role. How does this relate to AI? Helping us understand that will help us to assess whether or not this is the right fellowship program for you. What is your interest in the program? And why are you a good fit? And what do you hope to gain? We'd be interested to hear a bit about your proposed project. What is the project? And why is a human-centered approach needed? And then finally, what is it that you bring to the fellowship? How will you, in participating in the fellowship, enrich the cohort and the shared learning that may happen in that context? Your professional CV should provide clarity about your experience, but it's only a maximum of 3 pages. Here, it should help us to better understand what your background is, what you're currently doing, and also will help us to better appreciate some of the diversity of experience and expertise that you may be bringing into the cohort. Keeping in mind that what we are interested in is a diverse cohort of experience and expertise to enrich that learning environment. Your application should also include a letter of institutional support from a senior administrator in your organization. The letter should describe the tangible supports the institution will provide. For example, will it ensure that you have the required release time to attend the fellowship in-person session and each module, and to participate in the monthly seminars? Will it also appreciate and support your leadership of a proposed project? So in the letter should outline the importance and value add of the proposed project to the institution and why you are ideally suited to lead it. Finally, the letter should also identify someone who will be your institutional sponsor. This will be of someone who will provide mentorship and guidance as you develop your leadership project in your organizational context. And indeed, the senior administrator who's writing the letter for you may identify themselves as that institutional sponsor. The key thing here is that this letter is not so much a letter of reference. If the institution is supporting you, they are giving us a strong signal that your leadership is valued and it's something that they are seeking to support and to promote. Rather, what we are looking for in this letter is the reassurance that you will have the support you need to be able to participate fully in the fellowship for the full duration of these 2 years. So, what is our timeline? So as I noted, May 10th is the date by which applications are due. What we are aiming to do is to complete interviews with eligible applicants after a period of review with the program faculty, aiming for those interviews to take place later in May. The interview is about half an hour in length. We're also aiming to be able to provide admission offers during the week of June 5th. I believe the week is June 3rd to 7th, but really aiming for that Wednesday if possible. And then finally, onboarding of fellows, particularly to clarify learning needs, to get you set up, will begin in July through August with the first interaction, the first modules in-person session to take place toward the end of September. So I just want to offer some acknowledgements, first of all, to AMS Healthcare, who has made this fellowship possible, to our team at the Dalalana School of Public Health, either as experts in residence or as members of the fellowship program, planning committee, or both, as well as the admin team that has been supporting us throughout as well. I'd also like to acknowledge OISE, the expert process facilitator, Josie DiVincenzo, as well as some of the operations team at OISE. And then finally, 6 expert advisors who have provided us some of the insight and scoping that we needed as we were developing and designing the program along the way. So at this point, I will pause here just so that you can take a screenshot if you need to of the contact information, including the website and as well as the email address that you can use if you have questions or if you want to submit your application. And really now, I am really interested to hear your questions and to open into some conversation together to get to know you a little bit better and to see how we might be able to support you as you consider this fellowship for your own professional development. So I will stop sharing and just open it up for some questions. And Jay, you'll keep an eye on the chat box for us, and Stephen, Jay, and I are very happy to answer questions, any questions that might emerge. Stephen, you have a question?
I do not have a question, but for those interested candidates, I would want this session to go by without providing a perspective of someone who recently joined the fellowship in September. I can attest to the fact that this is a superb program for those of you that are in professional settings at this point in time. Given the fact that AI is very much in its infancy stages, for those of you, whether it be from a healthcare or broader public health sector organization, I can assure you that from the perspective of the building of the necessary infrastructure that is required for you within those professional settings, that the network that is developed through this fellowship is second to none. And therefore, you know, I really look forward to meeting you in the future, for those of you that decide to move ahead with and are successful in their application to the fellowship. But I would certainly attest to what Jennifer and Jay, I know, has provided his commentary in terms of the presentation as well. But they are both excellent, and this is a superb program. Thank you.
If we don't have any more questions, just want to remind you that you can always reach out by email with a question that comes up later. Again, it's ams.fitzgerald.dlsph@utoronto.ca. We also welcome you to have a look at the Joint Center for Bioethics website, the program page for the fellowship, which will provide the information that we shared with you today, as well as the contact information as well, in case you would like to follow up. And if, you know, having attended today, you think, oh, this fellowship would be well suited to someone you know, and you feel like you want to pass that along, please do. We invite you to pass this along to your colleagues, and also anyone else who you think might be a good fit for the program as well. So thank you so much for your time. And I see that for those of you who are joining us online today, Terry has put the contact information into the chat. And so we look forward to hearing from you. We look forward to your applications. And thank you for your time today.